So we came into the Airbnb as 2 people and we left the Airbnb as 3 people. At that point, we were tired of looking for houses. We were just desperate, like, please help us. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Didi, once again. If you're seeing my face for the first time, you're welcome to this channel. Please consider subscribing to my channel. Guys, my baby is here, so just bear with me. I don't know how this video is going to be. She's supposed to be asleep, but no, she opened her eyes and refused to go back to sleep. And my husband is not around. My husband went out. Actually, one of his friends just came into the UK today, or came into the UK some days ago, just came to our city today. He came in through the Global Talent Visa route. I've talked about the Global Talent Visa route in one of my previous videos. If you missed it, please go and check it out. I'll link it here. Guys, don't sleep on that visa route. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. People are coming into the UK. So yeah, his friend came into the UK through the Global Talent Visa route. So he just went out to hang out with him. That's why this woman is stuck with me, or I'm stuck with her. I don't know who is stuck with who, but one of us is stuck with the other. Anyway, so guys, today what I'm talking about today is house hunting in the UK. I'm going to share my experience. I know recently the influx of people into the UK increased because of schools that just resumed the September. Is it the fall semester that is called? Yeah, so the fall semester just resumed, so there's been a lot of people coming into the UK over the last 3 weeks or so. Welcome to the UK. I hope the weather is treating you good. Yeah, so I'm basically going to share my experience with searching for houses or an apartment or an accommodation in the UK. In one of my videos, I talked about how I relocated to the UK at 8 months pregnant. I'm going to link that video here. So I was 8 months pregnant when we moved to the UK. So from Nigeria, we booked Airbnb. We booked an Airbnb. An Airbnb is simply an apartment, more like a hotel, but not a hotel. It's like a house, somebody's apartment or part of somebody's house that they give out for people to use as a short-term accommodation. And we booked for 2 weeks. The plan was within the 2 weeks, when we come into the UK, we'll get a place and we'll move to our own accommodation. Although we had already started looking through the websites from Nigeria, but the only thing is that these people, you can't really book an appointment or a viewing from Nigeria, because I mean, they don't pick Nigerian numbers. So you have to either come here and do it yourself, or you send someone that is here already to do the work for you. That's to check out the buildings for you. So when we got here, we started checking for apartments. I went online to the website. The major ones are Zoopla and Rightmove. Those are the 2 we used. Some people say you can also get apartments on Facebook Markets, but I don't know, we did not use that one. We just use Zoopla and Rightmove. So basically, just go to their website and you click if you want to rent, or you want to buy house, or you want to buy land, or whatever. There are different options. So of course you pick to rent house, unless you want to buy a house. So at the time, our own budget was £700 per month. So that was what we planned out. Okay, this is the maximum we're going to spend on getting an apartment. So even if it's one, even if it's 2 bedroom, but just within that budget. That was the budget we set for ourselves. Basically, I wake up in the morning, do whatever I need to do, eat, and then I'll resume my work, which is calling the agents to book viewings for us. My husband was still working with his Nigerian company at the time, so he was busy with work and meetings and everything. Although he also did some of it too when he's free. When he was free, he would go online too and check for some book some viewings and all of that. Find an apartment that suits you, that you think you like, you call the agent, and of course the agent will ask you ask you some questions like, okay, how many people are planning to live in the house? How many adults are planning to live in the house? How many children are planning to live in the house? They'll also ask if the people planning to live in the house are both employed, and how much the people are earning. If it's just one person that is employed, how much the person is earning, and all of that. And if they are satisfied, they'll go ahead and book a date for you. Some of them may not be satisfied with your answer. For example, if you say you have children, some of them will tell you, oh sorry, the landlord doesn't want children in the house, and that will be the end. If for example, two people are planning to live in the apartment, and one person is employed and the other person is not employed, they'll say, oh sorry, they want both of the people living in the house to be employed. Some will say the amount, because they'll ask you what's your per annum, how much you're earning, like how much the people that are employed put together are earning in a year. And if it's not up to a certain band for that house, they'll tell you, oh sorry, you don't qualify. Some people say when you check the house, you like it, and then they'll tell you, oh, they're no more taking bookings for this house again, because people that are booking to view the house are too much. We got quite a number of bookings, and that was what we're doing. When my husband is free, we'll just quickly go and view one of the houses and see if we like it. The very first house we went to view, the very first one, we liked it. It was okay to our own taste, to our own standard. It was a 2-bedroom, although I call it one. It was a 1-bedroom with a small tiny second space that they called a second room, but at that point we didn't really care. It was okay for us, and we filled the form for the house. That's the next stage after you go for a viewing. If you like the house, you inform the agent that you're interested in getting this house, and then you fill the form. In the form, they'll ask for your name, your occupation, the number of people going to live in the house, your per annum. So basically you need to fill all those things. We fill the form, and we're really hopeful that they'll give us a positive feedback. I had already started seeing myself packing into that house. I've already started picturing, oh, this is where my baby's room is going to be, this is where my baby's cot is going to be, this is where my husband's office is going to be. Oh, unfortunately, after some days they came back and told us that we did not qualify. They picked another person, and I was actually devastated, because I wanted us to be settled into our own place before the baby comes. Meanwhile, the 2 weeks we paid for at our Airbnb elapsed at the time we didn't get that very first house. I was hoping that after that 2 weeks, we just move straight to that house. We don't have to pay for another Airbnb, for another duration of Airbnb. So we had to extend our Airbnb. This time around, we extended it by 3 weeks, because after that 3 weeks, someone had already booked from the 4th week onward. So we just booked the 3 weeks gap there, so that nobody will book the place, at least until we are sure we get our apartment, making a total of 5 weeks, guys, in Airbnb. Oh my god. Well, we continued checking for houses. My husband booked an appointment with an agent, and we went to check out the house. The tenants were still living in the house. I think the lady was even sleeping when we came for the viewing, so everywhere was dark. I opened the door and I looked, everywhere was so dark, and I was like, no, this is not where I'm going. I didn't even make a video then, because of course someone was still living in the house, so I couldn't do a video. But I didn't even think to make a video, because I did not like the house. Yeah, so when we were on our way out, my husband threw it out that what's the procedure to apply. So the agent told us that, oh, he's going to email us the form, and then we should fill it and then send it back to him and all that. And in my mind I was like, which procedure for what? Who is coming to live? I beg. Checked quite a number of houses too, and then finally the same agent that very first house that I said I liked, that they turned us down. The lady called us again, are we still looking for a house? We said yes, and then she took us to another house. This one too was okay. It was okay. That's just what I'm going to overlay it too. Remember guys, we're working with a budget of £700 per month. So basically these are the kind of houses that £700 can get you. It's either going to be a fancy 1-bedroom or an okay 2-bedroom. Usually the second bedroom is a little smaller than the main bedroom. At that point we were tired of looking for houses. We were just desperate, like, please help us. I remember the second house, the dark house, the house I'm going to call the dark house. The agent sent us the form and told us that we can fill it in. We were filling it, but filling it very reluctantly. At some point the man was like, oh, he called us like, oh, I sent you, did you see the please can you fill it? He was the one reminding us to fill the form. And then next thing he told us that we've moved to the next stage. The landlord has approved of us, and then we should start submitting documents for background check. That's when we just decided that for whatever is what, let's just be moving forward, making progress with these particular ones that have even said, okay, come on, we've even crossed the stage of, oh, landlord has accepted. Eventually that third house, they came back to us and they say, oh, we are so sorry, one thing. We're so glad that, I mean, we're already moving forward with these other people, so we're like, okay, to hell with you people. Anyway, we have an apartment, so we moved forward with the second one that I did not like initially. We did everything, we sent all the documents they asked for, and you just keep sending things and receiving things and sending things and receiving things. So we sent them all the documents they asked for, and basically we signed the agreement. The rent was £675, which was still within our budget, and you have to pay a deposit of I think 800 and something. So everything we paid was like £1,500 for the place, for the accommodation. Now the only downside, or I won't call it a downside anyway, we had already secured an apartment. We're happy. Unfortunately they told us that we had to wait till the end of the month before the current tenants will leave, and then we have to wait an additional 10 days because the landlord will have to fix up the place. You know, a tenant just left, they need to clean up the place, repaint, fix everything that is not working and all that. That translates to we have to stay in Airbnb again to the end of the month, and for the extra 10 days, giving us guys, it was hectic. But at that point we had other things to worry about, because I mean I was closer and closer to having my baby. So at that point we're like, okay, we have gotten house, even though we cannot move into it, but eventually we'll move into it. So we're preparing already to have our baby while we're still at the Airbnb. In the midst of everything, the baby came. We had our baby while we were at the Airbnb. I think towards the tail end of that 5th week we had our baby. Remember that I said after 3 weeks someone had already booked the place. So luckily for us, the landlord of the Airbnb had another apartment within the same building, but that one was not as nice as the place where we were, but it was open and it was vacant and it was within the same building. So we just told him that okay, we would like to book this place until our own apartment is ready. So he said no problem. We moved to that part, so we literally just took our things from downstairs to upstairs. So we moved to the other flat upstairs. That was where we were while we're waiting for these people to finish with our apartment. We're just waiting it out. We're literally counting the days, because the place was so small, the room was small, the sitting room was small. Then finally on the morning of that day, when our place was finally ready, I woke up very early that day. I was so glad. We just got ourselves ready and we moved to our new apartment. This was after spending, that's how many weeks? 7 weeks at Airbnb. Jesus. I just thought about it that it was actually 7 weeks we spent at Airbnb. Wow. So we came into the Airbnb as 2 people, and we left the Airbnb as 3 people. Of course, I was not excited about the house. Remember I said I didn't like it. I was just like, we should have house to stay. Do you know, guys, let me shock you. As I opened the door, I was like, no, this is definitely not the house we saw that day. Everywhere was clear. Of course, the people, it was an unfurnished apartment, so the previous tenants took their things away. Everywhere was bright, the windows were open. I could see. I was like, why did I not like this place? The second room was bigger. Like, the second room is a standard room. It's not like all those other places that they had fixed the sockets. We didn't even still move because we had already warmed up to the second room. And it was not until very much later when we were supposed to have a guest over, and then we just say, okay, let's just finally move to our main master bedroom, while the guest, of course, stays in the second room. Anyway, basically that was the story of our house hunting experience in the UK. Some people are luckier. Some people are way lucky, because I mean, like this, my husband's friend that just came in, it was my husband that helped him to go for the viewing. Didn't have any reason to deny him the apartment. He got the apartment immediately. He came from Nigeria and he's moving straight to his apartment. He doesn't have to do Airbnb. For us, it happened the way it happened. We had to wait 7 weeks before we got our own apartment. Everything worked out as far as I'm concerned. It all worked out because at the end of the day, I love this apartment. It's close to the main road, although sometimes it can be, when the windows are open during the summer, because it's close to the main road, it gets loud and noisy. But when it's cold again, like now, we don't need to open the windows, so the noise from the road doesn't disturb. We have a train station just 5 minutes walk from here, and we have a bus stop right in front of the building. Everything worked out eventually, and I'm so glad that it did. So guys, for those of you that are just coming into the UK, don't be afraid about the whole process of checking for houses. So for some people it happens like this. So guys, keep hopes up, don't be discouraged, don't fear, don't relent, don't get tired. And then if you're lucky enough and you have family that is hosting you, or you have friends that are hosting you too, that's good. Thank you guys for listening to my story, for watching this video. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace. Bye.